Hello everybody, Flik here, and welcome to the 11th Let's Chat. This is Monday as I glance at my calendar as per usual, the 10th I believe it will be. I'm recording this at the start of the weekend before. And I actually have things to talk about this time, which is a remarkable difference compared to last time when I was pretty much rambling other than the shoutouts I had to do. So the things I wanted to talk about. Well, first of all, I have got a Elgato software recording thing. After hitting the milestone on my Patreon page, which you can see a picture of if you look at the screen now. That's the milestone hit for this month, assuming that everybody that's currently a patron lasts through till the end of February. So I'm kind of going out on a limb and getting it now, but what I got in January almost was enough. So at the very like worst case scenario here, I've spent a bit of my own money, but also used Patreon money for what I said I would use it for, which is upgrading and improving my recording and equipment setup. So, you also see a picture of the Elgato now, if you look at the screen. I know some of you just prefer to listen to me since you aren't seeing my face anyway. So that's what it looks like in the box. It's so tiny. I mean, it's a nice sleek bit of kit. In fact, everything about it is sleek. I talked about this in the Patreon Saturday video that's going up. Well, it's going up the day after I'm recording this, but it'll be 2 days before this that it went. I always confuse myself because I record in advance. Either way, the thing itself is so tiny. It fits under my TV, my flat screen. It's honestly so much easier to just store than the first edition Hapage I had, but that's not the only reason I wanted to upgrade it. Upgrade to it, rather. And that's the kind of thing I wanted to cover in this one, because I definitely didn't want to waste the money that Patreon was giving me. And I want to go into detail about why I wanted this and the things it means for my videos going on. I've kind of spoke about this a little bit in the Patreon video I mentioned, but I'm going to go into it for more detail here because everybody hears this, as it were, not just a small group of people. So, yes, it's small and compact. The recording software itself, I actually brought up a problem I was having with it in the Patreon Saturday video, but I have since actually found the solution. I was having trouble using the .m2ts files that it creates in the rendering program I use, Sony Vegas, but I actually found you can set it to instantly make an MP4 version of whatever you've just recorded as you do it, without any additional lag or anything, by the way. Again, it's really well made. So I can use the MP4 versions, and that also means not only am I now able to record in proper HD via HDMI, I just hit my can and I bet it reverberated. Can you hear this? I bet you can. I can see it kind of appearing. Yeah, I bet you can. My can of juice. So yeah, it uses HDMI, proper HDMI, unlike the first edition Hapage, which was component cables. So switching from component cables to HDMI, they're technically both HD, they're both classed as HD, but there is a difference. I mean, the fidelity of the image, the sharpness and the depth of color is so much better when you're using HDMI. So hopefully you should notice a significant upgrade in the visual quality of my videos. Maybe that doesn't matter as much to you people. I'm a bit of a graphics whore myself, and it always bugs me if there's ever little imperfections in my videos, like maybe I've set the audio level too bad, or too high rather, like I have done in the past, or maybe just one of the settings is a little bit off so it doesn't look right, or I forgot to change a setting. That kind of stuff bugs the hell out of me, even if it doesn't bug anyone else. And the quality put out by component cables was okay, but it wasn't amazing, and I knew I could always do better if I had a proper HDMI capture card. And I was considering upgrading to the second edition Hapage, because I have a first edition and it's lasted me years. I'm amazed that it's not broken, quite frankly. But the second edition Hapages that are HDMI apparently aren't that great because of the software. They decided to make their own software rather than using the Total Media Extreme, which comes with the first editions. Apparently that's not so great. The Elgato software is really good. It is so sleek and so easy to understand. It's no wonder that everybody and their uncle wants to be a YouTuber. It's really, really easy to understand, and also it cranks out a better quality. It can do up to 30 meg at 1080p, although that's much higher than YouTube is capable of. So if you are just making videos for YouTube, don't bother recording that high. There's absolutely no point. YouTube cannot put out that quality. But yes, so the image quality is better, sound should be a little bit better as well, and if I was ever to get the ability to live stream, it has built-in streaming capabilities into the software, so streaming from a console would also be really easy. Granted, that is also possible with Hapages, but from what I've heard from CR, it's not as easy as the Elgato, and the fact that it's so tiny and I can just set it on my shelf rather than having this damn... I have the Hapage sitting on a stool type thing in front of a chest of drawers. Luckily the chest of drawers don't really have anything in them that I want. I think I've like my old game collections. Hang on, let me just open one of these a second. Hang on. Yeah, I've got old Dreamcast games and stuff in these drawers, but whatever. So I'm really, really glad that I was able to get this, because I think it's worthwhile as an upgrade, and I hope that everyone will agree, and I hope that they're also pleased that after I hit that milestone I did exactly what I set out to do. There is another reason for getting the Elgato though, and that's also to do with another purchase that I'm making kind of out of my own pocket this time. I'm getting a PS Vita TV. That's a Japanese only release, but it is in English. You have to use a Japanese PSN, but essentially it's a Vita that you can just play on your TV via HDMI. So I needed an Elgato because I needed an HDMI in input so that I can record Vita games. Now, particularly I'm going to be doing a Tukiden playthrough, assuming this all works as planned. I mean, it should. I don't see why it wouldn't. So, well, unless, you know, who is it that makes it? It's Toki, isn't it? Or Tokia. I can never pronounce it properly, but either way, as long as they're not, you know, Nintendo-esque regarding their content, although even if they were, it's very unlikely they would have kind of like the content ID box looking for our Vita games, because it's not conventionally possible to record a Vita. But anyway, so Tokiden is released on the... let me glance at my calendar again. It's released on the 14th, so the end of this week. America will get it sooner than that, but obviously I can't help that. I mean, my pre-order may arrive the day before the 14th, so I will be recording as soon as I get it. So I'm hoping my PS Vita TV should actually arrive later today. I'm kind of waiting in, recording in little bursts to make sure that I don't get interrupted. I kept on imagining that it would happen while I'm recording this. It'd be fun if it does. But yeah, my Vita TV should arrive today. I might post a picture on Twitter if I get it all set up to show you the kind of weird setup I'm using now. That's my dog barking. That would be very funny if the delivery was to arrive right now. Do you want to hear me live, just getting up and looking at my window just in case? You know what, I'm going to do that. You stay there for just a second. I'll shout from across the room. No, it's just the dog barking at nothing. Of course it is, because that's what she does, isn't it? Let me get re-situated here. Whoops, I hit my desk. So, I said this on the Patreon Saturday video because I knew the patrons would be listening to it, but I'll say it here for everybody as well, just that thanks to you, my video quality will now be better, and I am really glad, and I hope that you like the improvement and that you're okay with me using the Patreon money in this way. That's not the only bit of kit I want to upgrade, by the way, and of course technically going forward I kind of need to cover the cost of the Vita TV, but you know. So if you are a patron, thank you very much. If you're not, check out the links in any of my videos. I put them in there. There's not stretch goals. I'm in Kickstarter mode now because I've been doing Let's Look Ats today. There is reward tiers depending on how much you do at a monthly rate. You can increase or decrease the amount depending on how hard up for cash you are. Always put yourself first, not me. Don't worry about it. So yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to talk about. I'm really, really happy with the quality it puts out. Now you might not notice it immediately because there's a backlog of stuff I've recorded with the Hapage. Like I think there's still 3 Monster Hunter videos that I've recorded with the old Hapage. There's also 1 Dragon Ball video from memory, I think. So you won't start seeing it yet, but hopefully when I do the switch, you'll notice the improvement. And this is another thing I brought up in the Patreon Saturday video that I want to talk about. For a little while now, I've been using a program called Handbrake that I learned about from the Let's Play subreddit. What it is it takes a video that you've made in whatever format, I mean let's say MP4 because that's the norm for YouTube anyway, and it can optimize it, and it's so-called optimizing for web without loss of quality or without distinguishable loss of quality. So I thought, you know what, I'll give this a try and see what kind of difference it makes. Well, what kind of difference does it make? It can lower, say, a 1.8 gig video to around about 700 meg. Not quite halves it, and you know it's usually about maybe a 60%, 70% of its original size. But the quality loss, I can't see any. I can't see any at all. Now, granted, if I was probably watching my YouTube videos in the 1080p setting, which is technically, you know, it's a lie. I mean, it's kind of upscaling because YouTube can only really manage 720. But still, if I was watching a 1080p YouTube video on a big screen proper TV, and I was watching a video that had been put through Handbrake and a video that wasn't, there would probably be a noticeable difference at that huge resolution. However, in the standard size and the big window size of YouTube as normal on a normal monitor, I couldn't notice any difference personally. And I've been using Handbrake for a little while now and no one's pointed out, oh hang on a minute, doesn't this look a bit dodgy compared to usual? and this is before me getting the Elgato as well. So I think the difference hasn't been noticed. So the only difference in putting a video through Handbrake before I upload it is that the file size is much more manageable. Now this means feasibly that I can put up more than one video a day, and I actually have been doing that. Like before I found out about Handbrake, did you see on some days I was putting up 2 Dragon Ball videos at a time, one in the morning, one in the evening? How was I able to do that? I left my PC on for about 72 hours straight, so I was uploading constantly for those 72 hours, just in advance, so I would have kind of 2 days where 2 Dragon Ball videos would go up on each day. Now, I have done that since then, but because I put them both through Handbrake and they were both about 700 meg in size, give or take, I can put them both up in the one day and still have them published on whatever one day I wanted them to do. So there is a perspective there, a chance that I can upload 2 videos in the same time it would normally take me 1, thanks to this program. Now obviously if I had a really good connection there wouldn't be much need, and then I could keep the quality at pure amazing 1080p, not really, it's more like 720p upscaled fancy ass stuff, but I think it's worth me doing this. And as I say, no one's pointed out any loss in quality, and I couldn't even tell you which video I started doing it at, but I have been doing it for a while for basically everything. Occasionally there's a let's look at of a game that's like so retro that the file comes out tiny anyway, so I don't need to. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Have you noticed, did you notice, although that may be even more confusing because you might have noticed, but then if I switch to Elgato for my console videos, that will increase the footage quality. So, oh, so I forgot to turn off Steam, damn. But either way, the thing, I don't know, I'm not going to rush to start uploading 2 videos a day. I'm going to do it when it matters. Like if I start doing a Tukiden playthrough, I might want to get a few parts of it up quickly, but I don't want to interrupt my other series, because I've learned from this past month, as I've been inundated by indie devs, that 1 video a day when I've got so many series ongoing kills them. Like people thought I gave up on Monster Hunter just because I hadn't posted one for just like over a week, because I was concentrating on Battle of Z stuff, and that is not the impression I want to give. I'm not done with Monster Hunter. If anything, I'm more addicted to it than ever. So I don't want people to think I've given up on any given series by disappearing for a while, other than say Spelunky, because I kind of achieved my goal there, so I'm okay with that going on the back burner for a little while. Granted, I might still do it now and then, just whenever I feel like doing a video, but I don't want to build up as big a backlog as I ended up with by the end of January. I'm talking about a backlog of unuploaded videos of about 10. So I mean, that video I've been mentioning prior, I think I mentioned this in last week's Let's Chat, of a video going up for Monster Hunter in which I lament about Monster Hunter 4 not being released in outside Japan. That video is only going to go up, I think it's going to be live on Sunday, and maybe or the day after this. Either way, that just shows how big a backlog I had. That I had to keep on pushing that one back. So with Handbrake, even if the quality is a tiny bit lower, and now you've noticed it because I pointed it out, I think it's still worth that little teeny quality sacrifice if it means that sometimes I can put out more than 1 video per day. I hope. I am open to feedback on that. And as I say, as far as console stuff goes, now that I am recording in true HD with the new Elgato that you guys helped me get, anything that Handbrake does to it shouldn't really matter. It would still be an overall quality buff. So this has gotten a bit technical overall. I didn't mean to waste the whole kind of like 15 minutes talking about technical stuff about video creation and whatnot, but I kind of did. In other news, actually, very briefly, do you remember last Let's Chat I was talking about that sweet ass Monster Hunter 4 figure that I ordered from Japan? Well, it has been dispatched. It's probably going to take about a month to get here from Japan because, you know, that's the way things go, really. I will do an unboxing when I get it, and I can't wait because it looked so good. Yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to cover, really. I got the Elgato. Well, I haven't got yet, but I'm about to get at some point today my Vita TV. If you're interested in what it looks like, you know, check out my Twitter. I'll probably post a picture of it. And yeah, just covering the Monster Hunter thing. I did ask on Twitter for some other suggestions on things to talk about yesterday, actually, because I was going to record this yesterday and then ran out of time. But still, yeah, so I had one more thing I was considering mentioning, but I think I want to keep it secret for a little while longer. I'm working on something that may be of interest to a few people, so I'm just going to keep that on the back burner for now. I'm not sure if it's going to be a thing. So anyway, I'm going to kind of wrap up here. I'm sorry if this was, I seem to go through these phases with these Let's Chats. It's either one where I'm moping for some reason, or I'm angry at something usually involving YouTube, or it's something that only a small number of people are going to be interested in, like how many of you listening are really interested in me talking about the finer details of my recording process and the new hardware I've got and settings and software I use. I can't imagine a lot of you do, so I apologise if you found this one boring. But it's your own damn fault. I asked on Twitter for fun stuff to talk about, and not even CR suggested bum hats, so it's your fault. I'm blaming all of you. That's right, all of you. Yeah, I'm going to go now. I have some more recording to do to get done today, assuming that I'm not interrupted by a delivery. So thank you as always, and if you are interested, I have actually added some new reward tiers to my Patreon page, and it'll be linked below because it's in the description box of every one of my videos with all my other social media crap. So yeah, thank you for watching, listening, whatever. Every Monday, this is my vlog-esque series, and if you do want to input with some questions for me to answer or topics to discuss, either put it in the comments here or throw them my way on Twitter. My name has been Flik. Thank you for listening or watching or whatever it is that you do while I talk for 15 minutes. You know what, don't answer that. Ta-ta for now.